Let me tell you a story. I always wanted this house. Well, not this house, but a house like it. Actually, I don't know who owns this specific house. Maybe I should have asked them before I started filming. So, I always wanted a house and a decent looking car. But don't get me wrong, not for the looks of it. I don't want to be rich. I just want to have things that I can call my own. I just want to pick up enough checks in life to get me there. To owning a house. I've been working nearly full-time since I was 16, but I recently checked the bank account and, oh. You've been there, I'm sure. How many years have you been working, and what does your bank account have to say for it? This is a story that many Americans can relate to. Hey everyone, I'm Bruce Bradbury, and today we're going to be talking about saving money, financial literacy, and the F.I.R.E movement. While this video doesn't have much to do with houses or cars, it does have a lot to do with financial independence and how being smart with your money can make your financial life easier. Okay everyone, let's get into it. So a January 2020 study by Bankrate found that only 41% of Americans can cover the cost of a $1,000 emergency expense. I'm sure you can guess the other 60%. Well, they don't have savings. This is why financial literacy is so important. The thing is, at the end of the day, it's not about how much money you make. It's about how much money you save and how much money you spend and how intelligently you choose to spend or don't spend your money. A person who makes $30,000 a year and saves a percentage of their income every paycheck is far wealthier than a person who makes $300,000 a year and doesn't save any of it. The annual personal savings rate in the US fluctuates, but usually it's about 6 to 8%. You find a career, you work 40 years, retire at 65, and everything's working out fine with that 8%, right? Well, let's do some math. The amount of income measured per capita, that means every person in America in 2019 was $39,156. 8% of that, 3,132. Okay, if you're saving $31.32 for 40 years, that comes out to $125,250. Now, that's quite a sum that we've cobbled together over the years, but you gotta remember, you're in retirement and you still have expenses. You still have to pay for things. And assuming your spending habits haven't changed that much over the course of your lifetime, your spending habits, I mean rent, mortgage, clothes, food, really anything you spend money on, the amount of money that you spend from every paycheck. And if you save 8%, then that logically means that you spend 92% of your income every year. So that 92% of your income means that you spend $36,028 per year. That's quite a lot. If we put that number up against the $125,250, the $36,028 per year, that leaves you with your retirement account drawing empty in just 3.5 years. You can use any number for income. I was just using the 8%. Now, you have a few options. That means you can plan to retire, plan to stop spending your money at 68.5 years due to something happening, or you can save more money. You can save at a higher savings rate and guarantee that you have a plentiful amount of retirement savings. And I'm talking about financial independence here, okay? In the US, we have a thing called Social Security, and that guarantees a paycheck to every American over a certain threshold when they cash in on their Social Security check. It's usually quite low and just kind of more of a supplementary thing for Americans. And I'm talking about financial independence here, right? We don't want to be dependent on some entity or some person giving us money. We want to be independent. And there's a great financial independence movement out there called F.I.R.E, Financially Independent Retire Early. They say, in order to be financially independent, you need to save 25 times your annual income and plan to draw out just 4% of your income every year during retirement. And this will last you 25 years. Pretty good. But this movement calls that you save 50% to 75% of your income every year. And if your income is low, that's going to be drastically harder to do, to cut your expenses by 50 to 75% to save money for retirement. There are different tiers to FIRE. That is Fat FIRE, Lean FIRE, and Barista FIRE. Fat FIRE calls for a higher spending rate in order to live at the same spending levels as you were living in your highest income earning years. So not cutting down expenses at all for retirement. Lean FIRE calls for saving less, but that kind of in turn means that you're going to have to cut down some of your expenses in retirement. You're going to have to live a lean, budgeted lifestyle in retirement. Barista FIRE is a hybrid of Fat FIRE and Lean FIRE. It means that you're going to take a job in retirement, a part-time job, like being a barista at a coffee house, to supplement your income in retirement. so that you're not always relying on your savings, you're not putting as much stress on your savings. You always have some money coming in to help you out with expenses. The FIRE movement is definitely tougher at lower income levels, but the point is that retirement isn't about working 40 years and then you're 65 and you've earned it. You've got to put a lot towards savings to become financially independent, to be stable. Being wealthy isn't about just making a ton of money. Being wealthy is being financially independent of your expenses. The lower your spending habits are, the earlier you can be considered financially independent or wealthy. You can retire. And for me, this is kind of always the principles that I've wanted to live by. I've always wanted to kind of live by this barista FIRE motive, where I'm not working just to work. I'm not working because I have to. I'm working because I want to. I'm doing the things I enjoy. I don't want to have this intense pressure to need to work in order to make, next month's rent. I think it's definitely an approachable methodology to retiring early. It's not just a fantasy anymore. I think with these principles of saving a lot of your money and cutting down your expenses, you can actually retire early and actually enjoy life a bit more in your later years. A key part to having this financial literacy comes from knowing your spending habits and knowing when to stop spending. A common thing that happens is as people's income increases, as they grow bigger in their career, then also their spending habits increase. And one tip that I think I could reiterate over and over again is that as your income increases, your spending habits don't really need to increase. I already have my place. I already have my rent. I already pay for my mortgage. I already pay for food. I already pay for my normal amount of clothes and other things. So I don't need to spend extra money. If I'm making just a little more money every year, then I can instead put that into savings where it'll help me out later in life. I don't necessarily have to go out and make sure that I spend all my money. And a lot of people's priorities are making more money in life. But if your spending habits stay low, you actually don't have to make more money to be wealthier. You can limit your expenses, put that into savings, and actually have more money in the end. You don't have to always focus on increasing your income. You can focus on putting more into savings, and that'll help you out. Retiring at 65 is a total myth, and the principles of FIRE have had people writing about how they're retiring at 30 or 40. Retiring just when they have enough income to support their spending habits. And that's really what retirement is. It's not about having $1 million or $2 million in the bank account. It's not about having this absorbent amount of money. It's about knowing what your spending habits are and knowing how much money you have and knowing how long you can budget those expenses to help you out. And for me, I could say it's not exactly about saving up money until I'm 65 and retiring. It's about getting a head start. I want to be in a position where I don't have to work. I want to work because I like doing it and I enjoy what I do in my career. Just simply saving a little bit more money each month can help you out immensely in the long run. So just consider every month how much you're spending and how much you're saving. Okay, everyone, thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked the video, please give me a like and hit the notification bell and subscribe. I post every Monday and Friday. I can't wait to see you next time. Have a good one.